Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today I have an interesting and perhaps even controversial review for you of the brand new Gucci Gorgeous Flora Eyeshadow palette. We're going to look at it, we're going to swatch it, we are going to compare it to the first Gucci eyeshadow palette in two different lightings, and we're going to try it on, and I'm going to give you my opinion. Okay, yeah. All right, so let's get started. This little guy right here is inspired by the new Gucci Flora fragrances, which they actually, if you order on Sephora right now, they give you two little minis of, which is really, really nice, actually. They let you try both of them. And I got to show you right here, the samples are actually a nice size. Like, I have so many different perfumes that I kind of go back and forth among, that I think this is going to last me a nice while. So that's kind of exciting that they gave that. And there's also, look, I kind of goofed. I picked up the Sally, that soft honey lipstick, but this is not, that was just a mistake. This is not the one in the Flora packaging, the limited edition Flora packaging. I know they met in Argentina, which is the shade I had from the first Gucci release that went with this palette. That I know is done in the limited edition Flora packaging. This one wasn't. We're going to try it on anyway. It was just a mistake, but it's really pretty. Okay, so let's take a look at this. This is 12 satin metallic matte shades, as I said, inspired by the beautiful Gucci floral fragrances that were just released. This is the same size as the first. The price. Now this is interesting. I have written a little email and I'll pin a comment. If the answer comes back before I edit, I'll put it on the screen here. But I paid $160. I just looked it up to link it for you guys if you want to purchase, and it says $152. So there's been an $8 change kind of within a day, and I asked Sephora what's up with that, but it is listed at $152. I paid $160. Soon to be refunded $8. Know what I'm saying? Okay. So we're going to talk about it here. It is that same kind of interesting collector's edition type of Gucci packaging that we had in the first, with that strangely removable Gucci inset that we had in the first, and it's not very deep. Like last time when I actually reviewed the first one here on the channel, and we were taking all sorts of guesses in comments. Was it for jewelry? What could you put in it? It's not very deep. Why does it come out? Are they going to be interchangeable? Nobody quite has a handle on why they pop out like that, but it's certainly the artwork is lovely. Look, the price is extraordinarily high, and I am going to be very critical because of that. Why? I love luxury beauty, Dior, Chanel. I love brands that are perfume houses and have done luxury beauty forever. I sometimes side-eye brands like Hermes, Gucci, Louis Vuitton that are newer to it. I wonder if it's a cash grab. I do. Hey, I love Gucci, but I hated their first foundation. I guess they're coming out with another one. I didn't like the first one. They market through Coty, which has, you think of as drugstore, but they do have a luxury side to the brand, so it's not like it's a drugstore manufacturer. I mean, certainly this package is gorgeous and would look beautiful, just like this one does, on a table. It comes with a beautiful dust bag in a, a velour, or probably velvet actually. Should, right? Dust bag. But for the money, is it worth it? I don't know. I want to compare it also to the first palette, but first thing I want to do is in studio lighting here, take a look at it in my arm, in studio lighting, all 12 shades. They're certainly very pretty, but I do talk about my thoughts on this color story during the demo and in my thoughts afterwards that I want you to hear, and I want to hear your thoughts on as well. But there it was in studio lighting. Let's take it outside into the warm California sunshine and take a look at it outside and see what you guys think. You can always see things better, I think, when they are in sunshine. Now, let's compare this to the first palette. First thing I'm going to do is hold them up for you here, just live, just hold them up for you and see what you think. Makeup Crazy over on Instagram was saying she doesn't think people could tell the difference really. You know, because we still have that. Here's the brand new gorgeous Flora. Here is the very first Gucci palette. And they both have those kind of pops of blue. I wonder if that's going to be just kind of a signature Gucci thing. That kind of 1970s retro pop of that powdered blue. It's not my go-to. I'll save my opinion. At any rate, let's take a look at those two swatched side by side. So I kept this on my arm, and then I put the first Gucci palette over the top of it. So take a look at this here. On the bottom level, we still have the brand new Gucci Gorgeous Flora eyeshadow palette. And above it, we have the first edition of the Gucci eyeshadow palette. Other than that, they are the exact same size. I do remember, if memory doesn't deceive me, I do believe that this first one was a little bit cheaper, but also heinously expensive. And the question becomes, do we have money for this right now? Look, I have never, ever, ever been a channel that talks about whether or not you can afford something and whether or not you should pay for it. And frankly, I don't want to become that kind of channel. I am not, as I famously always say, I am not your bank manager. You get to do that on your own. But, you know, I paid $160. It looks like it'll really be $152 plus tax. That's US dollars. You know, we do have to figure out, though, if it's worth it. And I want to take you to the demo right now, and then I'm going to give you my very pointed, very direct thoughts about this. And we are going to try on the lipstick. Like I said, I got the shade Sally, which is a soft honey shade. And as expected from a lot of these luxury brands, it is scented. It goes away quickly, though. Gucci lipsticks are pretty. Their bronzer was really pretty, but also very heavily scented, wasn't it? The eyeshadow? No scent to the eyeshadow. Whoop, that really closed. Super pretty case. Look, I'm not going to drag it through the mud. There's no point. But I am going to let you know my thoughts. So let's take a look at me trying this on. I do think these shades are a little bit more powdery. Not in a bad way. They're buildable. I do think the last palette a season or so ago was a little bit creamier. And I had heard that they had perfected the formula. I don't know if it's a step forward or a step back. The jury's still out. Let's go to the demo. Well, we won't know much of anything until we take this palette for a spin. So let's go ahead and dive in. I have a selection of Rephr brushes here, and I'll never be able to use all 12 shades, but we're certainly gonna give it an old college try, as they say. All right, I'm gonna go in here with this first shade here with a Rephr number 27 and just kind of put this all over my eyes, and it's a very, very pretty shade. I thought that the shades in the first palette were very pretty as well, actually. Yeah, that's actually quite lovely. Look at that. Just kind of a nice, almost a shell type shade, sticking with the exact same brush. Let's go a little bit darker, still with the mattes, just to kind of set a bit of a base for the look. Just darkening kind of the outer layer. That's a very gentle shade. I think some of the complaints I will tell you already are going to be that these shades are gentle, but it looks like they are definitely buildable. I just know that people, pardon me as I throw my brushes around, here's a number 2. I just know that people kind of come to expect really powerful shades, and sometimes they judge a palette harshly if they don't feel that the intensity is there right off the bat. But I see this as buildable, so I am not going to complain. I am going to go in with actually a Rephr number 2, a second Rephr number 2. I actually have 2 number 2s into this shade right here, and I kind of want to see what this little maroon shade here is going to do on the outside of the eye. All right, very, very gentle. I did wipe off the brush. You saw that. But you know what though? I don't have any complaints because it is building nicely. Okay, and there we go. Now I went straight from the palette without really, knocking any shade off the brush. And I'm definitely getting a lot more payoff, which is fine, but you guys, I'm not complaining the other way. I hate when it just goes smack and it's really dark on the eyes. And I mean, let's just try to get our money's worth, my money's worth at least, out of this palette, right? Okay, very, very pretty. I think it's time for a little bit of a shimmer. Why are my brushes hidden over here? I'm going to take the Rephr number 3 and go into this shade right here. And I just kind of want to pop that into the inner corner of the eye. I like to do that with my eyes closed, actually. maybe a little bit even underneath, but not too much. Okay, nothing crazy. I'm not thrilled with the blue shades that are, you know, my choices here, but why not? Let's go in with this. This is kind of more of a metallic, not really shimmer so much. I don't tend to opt for blue. I remember blue. And what do they say? If you remember wearing it, you're not supposed to do it again? It's not really true, but you know what I'm saying. Sometimes familiarity breeds contempt, you know. So let me do that a little bit more. I do not need to use my fingers for this. It's not a shade that's going to have any sort of fallout, but in for a penny, in for a pound here. Certainly very pretty. What do you guys think? It needs something though. I'm finding it kind of, let's go in with this kind of orange shade. It just needs something. I'm finding it, that's helping. That's kind of a pinkish orange. What do you guys think? That's kind of helping, isn't it? I just want to love it. And I know, well, then go slower, Rebecca. I don't go slowly. You guys know I don't do that. You know, I'm not for everyone. This is how I put on makeup. So I want something really stunning. Like yesterday I reviewed the Pat McGrath palette and I was like, wow, gorgeous. And I think this is really pretty, but I don't know. Like I want a really pretty shimmer shade and I don't. This is personal preference. I don't love any of them. Do you know what I mean? Okay, let me just do this with a brush then. And yes, I'm still sticking with the 27. Let me just, because it kind of faded away. I like what happened to it when I put that peachy pink over it. And I think this is a really fun palette. I think this is really pretty. This is not my color story, and that is not the palette's fault, but I don't know if it will be all of yours either. All right, let me stay there and let me get the lipstick that I got. It's not one of the special ones, but, you know, let's try it. Okay, let's go ahead and get this out just to try it on, just because I got it, and it's new, and it's Gucci, and they make really pretty lipsticks. And it is, of course, scented, which you all know, but they, you know, they really have a nice staying power. I feel very 70s. Like, I feel like I need to, you know, flip my hair back a little bit and do kind of a, I feel really 70s. Okay, so I can't tell you whether or not you would like this palette. I don't think it's gorgeous. I think the color story's weird. If you love blues and purples, this is your jam. I don't love it. I don't know where to go beyond the neutrals into the blues. This might be a personal thing. You're going to have to let me know. This is a community. This isn't a Rebecca Talks. This is a dialogue. I'm the one on here jabbering away, but I want to see what you guys say in comments. I felt this was not as pigmented as the first, and I had heard from so many people that this was supposed to be more pigmented. I find the color story interesting, but it's a lot of browns and then some blues that aren't even my favorite, like aquas. I'm not an aqua fan. I don't wear turquoise jewelry. You know what I'm saying? So it's like turquoisey purple and browns. It's just not my thing. I think they performed beautifully. If it is your color story, they perform beautifully. They build beautifully. I actually find them less pigmented than last time around, but last time around was a much darker palette, but I actually found the first Gucci palette shades to be creamier. I think these are very pretty and very buildable, not quite as creamy to the feel, and the color story I think is weird. That's me. You are welcome to come below and disagree. I honestly, you know, I love the dialogue. So let me know what you guys think. And I will update in the pinned comments with what Sephora says about that 160, 152. If it's your color story, you'll love it. If the color story doesn't thrill you, skip it. I never say stuff like that because I am not your bank manager, but it's very pricey and I'm just not going to recommend it wholeheartedly unless you are absolutely in love with the color story. Yeah, I mean, all right, let me know what you guys think in comments below. give this video a thumbs up if you at least enjoy hanging out with me. I love hanging out with you guys. Hey, if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you subscribe so that I can see all of you in the next video, and come say hello over on Instagram and TikTok too. See you soon. Bye-bye.